You're 16, dragging 2 trash carts down the driveway to the curb. The same curb where every house on the street pays $25 to $50 a month to make the trash disappear. 20 years later, you sign a bill of sale, and a company called Casella wires $93.1 million into your account. Between those 2 curbs sits one of the deadliest jobs in America. Refuse collectors die at 37.4 per 100,000, 5th among all occupations. Most people watch the truck for 10 seconds at dawn and never think about it again. The man who built that company started exactly where you're standing. He dragged the cart, then he stopped dragging it and started counting it. This is every level of hauling garbage in America and what it actually costs to climb. If you like breakdowns of how careers actually progress, like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Level 1. The tailgate. You are 16, and the family pickup is the only truck you've got. A neighbor pays you $20 to $40 per haul to clear a garage, drag the brush, load the broken furniture into the bed. You bungee a tarp over the load and drive to the transfer station. There's a sign at the gate. The minimum is $15 to $30 just to back onto the tipping floor. And you read it the way other kids read a menu. Inside, the floor smells like wet cardboard and sour milk in the July heat. You dump the load, sweep the bed, drive home with cash in your pocket. Then, the bed is empty again. The landfill charges the real haulers $62.28 a ton. You're paying a flat gate minimum. They're paying by weight. You don't know it yet, but that gap is the whole business. The lessons here are physical. You overfill the bed once, the tarp tears on the highway, and a kitchen chair skids onto the shoulder behind you. After that, you strap every load like it's going to try to climb out and run. You start setting the scrap metal aside instead of dumping it. The scrapyard pays you separately, and the haul nets more than the gig did. The attendant at the gate stops checking your ticket. He knows your pickup now, and he waves you to the right lane without looking up. That wave is the first time this work pays you in something other than money. You quit asking your dad for gas money. The first solo dump run with no adult in the cab feels like a license. It isn't one yet, but the paycheck version of this job has a number on it, and you want the number. Ready for the back of the truck? Level 2. The back. You're 18, and your first paycheck says $18.78 an hour. You ride the rear step of a Heil rear loader, the part of the truck everyone calls the back. The day starts at 4 a.m. in the dark, before the neighborhood wakes, before headlights thin out on the highway. You roll the carts to the hopper, tip them by hand, return them to the curb, then step clear and signal the driver to advance. You only ride the step when the truck is crawling, and never far. That rule is written in blood. Then you pull the pack handle. The blade cycles with 80,000 pounds of force, and the first time you hear that thunk, you understand why veterans guard the hopper lip. You reach past it once to free a jam, the packer kicks, and a veteran yanks you back by the vest before your hand crosses the line. You never reach past the lip again. A sanitation worker in New York films his own 4 a.m. start and calls it what it is. Dangerous conditions on the streets, every single shift. The work is brutal and oddly honest. You can see exactly how much you cleared. The leachate they call garbage juice sprays your forearm on a hot cart tip, and you learn to stand upwind. You're the one making the trash disappear now. For the same $25 to $50 a month every house on the block pays without thinking about it. You stop flinching when the packer cycles. You signal the driver clean at every stop. His calls start coming back without hesitation, and the route finishes ahead of schedule. The check clears on Friday. This is where bodies wash out. Too slow, or one ride the step mistake. You don't wash out. You want the wheel. Ready for the license nobody can take from you? Level 3. The wheel. You're 22, and the average driver makes $27 an hour. In the best union market in the country, the same seat pays $47. To get there, you need a CDL Class B, the federal line that starts at any truck over 26,001 pounds. Since the federal entry-level driver training rule took effect on February 7, 2022, you can't even sit for the test without logging the hours first. The test is a moment, not a fee schedule. The examiner watches your pre-trip, brakes, hydraulics, tires, air system, the whole walk-around. You name each part out loud. You set the parking brake, build the air pressure, watch the gauge, and call the warning buzzer before it sounds. The examiner signs the form. You've got your CDL Class B, and it's the first thing in your life nobody can take away. Now you run a roll-off with a hook and cable. You arrive at a construction site, chain up the full box, winch it onto the rails, and haul it to the landfill. You weigh in, you tip, you set the empty box back down and release it. Then you do it again. The hardest setup is a sloped lot. You back toward a fence on a grade, feather the air brakes too late, and the box shifts. For 1 second, it's going to drop through the fence. You catch it on the cable, ease it down square, and the box lands clean inside the lines. A car passes on the right as you swing wide. You'd already checked the mirror, and you stop short of the bumper with room to spare. The landfill still charges you $62.28 a ton, the same number you read on a sign at 16, now coming out of a company's pocket instead of your own. You stop reading the pre-trip checklist. Your hands already know it. The federal 14-hour rule pulls you off the road at the end of a long day, whether the route is done or not. The deadhead back to the yard is quiet, just diesel and cold coffee, and the clatter of an empty box on the rails. The wheel is leverage. The next step takes the helper off the back entirely. Ready for the one-arm bandit? Level 4. The one-arm bandit. You're 28, and the automated side loader pays $28 to $40 an hour. There's no helper on the back anymore. The arm deleted that job. You sit alone in the cab and work a joystick with your right hand. You line the truck to the cart, square the mirror, extend the grabber arm, close the claw, grip it, lift it over the body, dump, shake, lower, release, and retract. The whole cycle takes 8 seconds. You do it again and again, up to 1,200 homes a day, and the in-cab cameras are the only eyes you've got on the curb. The skill is reading weight before the arm strains. The grabber tops out somewhere between 800 and 2,000 pounds, and a commercial cart packed with wet bottles can snap it. You read a heavy one before you grip it, you ease the joystick, and the load clears without a jam. Then a misgrab drops a cart in the middle of the street. You don't curse it. You stop, you reset, you regrip on the second pass, and the route time still holds. The cart you dragged down your own driveway as a kid is the same green box you lift 1,200 times before lunch. In a tight cul-de-sac, the truck barely clears the parked cars, and you thread it on the camera feed without scraping a mirror. You stop noticing the smell after the first hour. The route runs like a video game that pays, and the rhythm whir, clunk is the only company you keep before noon. You recharge the hydraulics at the halfway point and keep rolling. You clear 1,000-home blow route with no arm damage and no callbacks. The maintenance log on your truck stays clean, and that clean log is the number that keeps you in the seat. The man in the office is watching route times now, not cans. So you start watching them too. Ready to run the yard? Level 5. The yard. You're 40, and the supervisor's chair pays $60,000 to $95,000 a year, salaried. You came up from the back, and the crew knows it. The day starts before the trucks. You unlock the yard, pull the inspection forms, assign the trucks, brief the crew on safety, and dispatch them out under the floodlights while the diesel chorus idles in the cold. Then you watch the map. A driver no-shows on a 1,000-stop day, and the customers are already calling the office. You don't reassign it to anyone. You jump on the spare truck yourself, and every can on that route is empty by noon. You read the telematics the way you used to read a tarp, looking for the load that's about to come loose. Republic Services reported a median employee paid $84,950, and the Teamsters at Local 104 in Phoenix fought Republic to a 19% raise. You learn that the yard isn't a route. It's a profit and loss statement with wheels. You stop measuring the day in cans. You measure it in routes. You keep your yard's safety numbers clean, shift after shift. And when the company consolidates and closes the underperformers, yours is the one that stays open. A heat policy fight over a broken cab air conditioner lands on your desk, and you pull the truck before anyone gets hurt. The crew sees you do it. Density is the word the office keeps using, and you finally understand it. Stops per mile, not trucks in the lot. You could run this yard for 30 years. Or you could own the map yourself. Ready for the top? Level 6. The owner. You're 50, and you don't drive anymore. You sign the municipal franchise contracts, you finance the fleet, and you negotiate the tipping rates yourself. A new automated side loader can run you $300,000 to $500,000, and you sign for a whole row of them at once. Everything you do now is route density, the same guiding principle that built the giants of this business. You buy a small competitor. You fold his stops into your map, and the cost per stop drops. That move is called a tuck-in. Do it enough times, and the acquirers stop being a rumor and start coming to you. In West Virginia, two founders built a hauler called Mountain State Waste and sold it to Casella for $93.1 million in cash, a deal that added $30 million of annual revenue the day it closed. In Texas, another founder grew two small haulers into Frontier Waste Solutions and sold to GFL in a deal Bloomberg estimated at about $900 million. The buyer isn't paying for your trucks. He's paying for the density you built one stop at a time. One operator named Willie Good has been in this business since he was 13. In 1991, a waste management division president offered him a supervisor job, and Good turned it down. He said he wanted his own business. 3 trucks, one for him, one for his brother, one for his cousin. He grew it from 3 trucks to more than 200. The wire clears. Your name is on the bill of sale. Ready to see what it all cost? Here's the part nobody tells you at the curb. The job you just climbed is more dangerous than policing. Refuse and recyclable collectors die at 37.4 per 100,000. Police officers die at 11.3. The year before, the refuse number was even higher, 41.4, the 4th deadliest job in the country. Everyone watches the truck for 10 seconds at dawn and quietly assumes it's easy. It is the opposite of easy. And the man who got rich doing it never got rich driving. He got rich owning the map. It was the map you spent 30 years drawing. One curb at a time, in the cold. You started on the back step. You earned the wheel and the hook. You ran the arm alone for years. You learned to read a whole yard like a ledger. Every rung took something out of your hands, and then it handed the same thing back to you as leverage. The cart you dragged down the driveway as a kid is the same battered cart sitting on 10,000 curbs you will never drive past, and the buyer paid you for the right to lift every single one of them. The houses still pay $25 to $50 a month to make the trash disappear, the way they always have, the way they always will. The only difference is that now the contract has your name printed across the top of it. The packer still cycles. The hopper still swallows. The hook still drags the heavy box up the rails. Only now, it is not your back doing any of the work. The work already took its piece of that back, and the piece never came all the way home. You'd signed for it again anyway, every cold morning of it, without thinking twice. And the kid riding the back step this morning is signing up for the very same climb, whether he understands it yet or not. The automated arm runs its 8-second cycle on a route that you happen to own. The transfer station still charges by the ton, and now you are the one collecting it at the gate. The yard you used to unlock at 4 in the morning unlocks without you now, in the dark, by another set of hands. You sign your name one last time. The wire clears the account, and for the first time in 30 years, the dawn trucks roll out of the lot without you riding on any of them. Yours, paid for, free and clear.